Okay, we're going to go to New Jersey now. And is that Jay, you think?
I think so.
Is that right? Are we pronouncing it correctly? Is it Jay?
Yeah, it's Jay, yes. How you doing?
How may we help you today, Jay?
All right, so where do I start? I've been married for 4 years to my wife. We've been together 9 total. We're currently separated. It's going on 7 months now. We have zero communication. She's blocked me off every aspect you could think of, from cell phone, social media, anything. We both have public service jobs, so it's kind of hard, to be honest with you. So to make a long story short, we all started out as she basically has an addiction to a prescription drug that she had to go away to detox for. Through the years, I didn't know about it until after we got engaged. So it was kind of rough on me once I found out about it, especially with the job that I do. So I wanted to get her the best help I could, but the problem is you can't help someone when they don't want to help themselves. So to make a long story short, I guess we got in arguments as time went on, and I guess they were building and building and building, and then finally we had, a blowout fight 4 years into our marriage one day, and everything came out basically. From what I do know, we're separated. I'm living in the house that is in her name, but I've been the one paying all the bills since day one. What else? She's living with her friend now. She moved in with her parents after she went to detox and came out, and then she moved in with her friend. Her parents are adamantly for us getting divorced because she painted me out to be a narcissist, a physical and mental abuser, and basically everything you could think of, And then to make a long story short, sorry if I keep saying that, she moved in with her friend, and I don't know if she has as much as a family attachment as she did prior to. When she first came out, from what I was told, she wasn't at a couple of events that were pretty big with her prior to this. So maybe she's detaching a little bit. I'm assuming that. I don't know. I have zero communication. So as much as I want to try and do the smart contact and all that, it's just I can't, So unless I block my phone number to call her, which I've tried once because she got into a car accident and our insurance company called me and told me that she wasn't responding to anything. So I had to call her from a blocked number, and I never heard her yell so much. So, so that was in the beginning, though, a couple months after.
Okay. And when she's telling people that you're mentally abusing her, emotionally abusing her, do you think she has anything to base that on that she could interpret that way? Have you done things that she could interpret like that?
Well, the only thing I can think of is maybe when I was like little things, like if I yelled at her for something in the sink or something like clothes on the floor in the bathroom or something, you know what I mean? Like it was just built up aggression over time from, that's really what it was. And
so when you would yell at her, you're using volume, is that right? I mean, like you're getting loud. Were you using words that were also tough words, like calling her names, things like that?
Well, no, I never called her names. I never was like, what are you, stupid or something like that? No, I never did anything like that. I just would speak in a loud volume. Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm Italian, so yeah, I speak loud to begin with.
Okay, so when you speak in a loud volume, what kind of thing would you say to her? Would you just say there's clothes on the floor loudly and that was all you would do, or would you say more than that?
Yeah, like literally that. It was just things like that. And then she'd be like, oh, you're overreacting and stuff like that. And I'd be like, well, just pick up after yourself. I'm not your mother. I would say things like that. And that would kind of, probably send a dig to her,
So you said it with intensity. You said it loud. Did it come across as sarcasm as well, my friend?
Well, it might have been. I perceived it as being, like sarcasm / with intention kind of in a way, where she didn't. I guess she took it to heart,
Okay.
So, and that's my fault for the wrong communication style,
Okay.
So, but my biggest thing is like, where do I go from here? I mean, I got zero contact. How am I going to go,
Okay.
So
When
I'm trying to work on myself. I joined the gym, did everything I could. I'm trying to follow everything. I've watched you guys on YouTube a lot. Kimberly, I love watching you. Thank you. And it's just, I'm trying to do everything you guys are saying and do the best I can for me, because I need to be the best person for when
That's
the situation evolves. And I understand that.
That is correct.
And you know what? I got to look in the mirror. I'm not perfect. And it's just, I want to make the situation as best I can. I mean, I'm 7 months into this with being separated, so to say, 6 months without, after she went to detox. But to make a long story short, I'm not going to give up on somebody because the vow of marriage to me means a lot. And
I'm glad they do.
If I know she's not out there doing something else with somebody else, then, which I kind of know, and she's working on herself, well, then I have to work on myself, So when the situation comes back, we can face it head on and be stronger together. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But I just don't know what to do sometimes because I don't know what she's thinking or where she's going or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out what you guys might say, what your professional opinion is.
Okay. Well, it's like Kimberly was saying earlier. You don't do it based on what you think she's thinking. You do it based on what you need to do to be the best you that you can be. Now, you're quite a verbal person there, Jay. It's you talk quite a bit. I'm not putting that down. It's your nature. You say, as you said, you're Italian. But if you're dealing with a person who is not as verbal and who really reacts to the tone of voice that you use and the things that you say, such as you yell at her and say, the clothes are on the floor, I'm not your mother, that you said you are sarcastic with a purpose. But if what she's hearing, because right now that's really what matters, is why is she not wanting to talk to you?
Yeah.
And what I've heard you say is that the reason that she's not wanting to talk to you is because of the fact that she hears it as a put down, as being disrespectful to her. Now that's what I heard you say. Is that what you heard, Kimberly? I'm not saying that's what he intended, but if he's saying it sarcastically, he's saying it loudly, and was saying those things a lot, then a particular person, people who are addicts, tend to be more sensitive people.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning of when he started talking, there's something different about the situation in the sense that why? Why did she shut him off 100% completely, delete him from everything? Something happened, whether it's in the way she's perceiving things, the way that things, happened in the marriage before, whatever it might be, there is something. And you may or may not be able to figure out what that thing is. But the direction that Joe is going here is a good one. So since you can't read her mind or even talk to her about it and ask, because she's cut off that as an option as well, what we can do is go back to what we know. So we're reviewing the history. What do we know about how your reactions were? And you're right. Even in a good marriage, if there's that sarcasm and those slight digs that happen over time, they chip away at just anyone's ability to want to have conversation or to talk about things because you don't want to be yelled at or you don't want to feel like you're being disrespected. You don't want to be embarrassed about coming across like you're stupid. I mean, that happens in every type of relationship.
And particularly when one is an addict. You see, addiction most often has to do with escape. And so I don't like life like it is. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way things go. And so by doing my addiction, when I'm doing that, it's like I don't have to face reality. I'm in a little bit different world. One of the most common emotions that people who are addicts feel when they're doing the addiction is peace. Now, we're not beating you up. We are not beating you up. My guess is you're a man with a good heart who did what you believe was the right thing to do. So please, after all this, he might have already hung up saying, you guys have been beating me up. We're not beating you up. We're saying, if indeed you're going to put this back together, and I'm happy for your heart to do that. It says a lot of good things about you, young man. But if you're going to have any chance of putting this back together, it's going to be that you practice the pies, like Kimberly said earlier, for you. Even if she's not having any contact with you, you do it for you, because that leads you to become the best person you can be. And if there's going to be any chance that word ever gets to her, that any opportunity is ever going to occur, it's not going to happen if you keep being who you were. It's going to happen only if you become who you should be. Now, I'm sure you were a good guy to begin with, but as you've already said, flawed. We're all flawed. And by practicing the pies, you become a better person. That increases the likelihood that you have a chance to do something in the future. It's amazing how often, Kimberly, opportunities come to people who are prepared for it.
That's very true.
They don't come to people who are not prepared for it.
Right.
And so in terms of the pies, it's preparing you for the opportunity. And I truly hope that you can do that. And I really do hope you have opportunity to interact with her again and you guys can put this thing back together. But remember the sensitivity, particularly with an addict, and that you need to be thinking, how is she hearing this, rather than what is it that you mean to do as you say it? Okay?